Hello. That gets me every time. I can't help it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claude and the Banstas. This is our football talk show. This is going to be a serious chat tonight. We're going to get right down to it, and we're going to make some big decisions and see what we come up with. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hope you're well. Nice to see every one of our regulars in the chat. Hope you're all good. Just before we get on with the show, please, we're going live on YouTube and our other platform, Hotmic. If you can go over to App Store or Google Play Store, download the app and use our code CBS301, and then that will get you to follow us. That will really help us out on our new platform. And if you can like and share on both platforms, we would really appreciate it, please. We've got a great guest with us tonight. We've got the man himself, Kenny. Ken, how you doing, Ken?
I'm very happy. You know, like I said, it's been like I said, been a long week working. You know, I had a bit of bad news last week, but but you soldier on, and you just you know, like I said, come on, because I think this is a time when the last thing you need is that sort of news when you can't see people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, mate. I hope everything's all right.
No, it's all right. It's just it's something you have to get on with it. But you know, the most important thing is that, you know, no family members have got any like I said, illnesses that I know of, and you know, we're just coping with the situation. We're trying to follow whatever advice we get from central government, mixed or clear.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Ken, and we'll probably talk about that in the show a little bit more. I've also got my fellow Bansta, Diesel. How you doing, Diesel? Hope you're well, mate.
Yeah, hope you're well, Tel. Thanks, mate. Yeah, guys, hope you're well. Guys in the chat room, thanks for watching and tuning in. We don't often say it on this channel, but we're going to start saying it now because I don't feel we get enough likes. So please like, subscribe, and share. I'm going to keep saying that because everyone else is doing it. So do it. One last thing. Kenny, listen, we're your boys. We got you, man. So anything you need, so I'm going to say it. Love you. All right, top man.
Yeah, definitely.
Last one.
We've also got the big man himself. It's time to go. Mr. Claude, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Okay, I've got my man, my bro on here tonight. Kenny, how are you, Brenny?
Oh, stop it. Oh, sorry, Ken. sorry.
It's all good, Claude. I think what's happened is that, you know, the thing about it, right? I think more has happened in the football world in the last probably last 4 days than it did happen during the football season. There's loads of talking points, loads of adverse opinions out there. And the most important thing is that we got our biggest litmus test ever in football, which is the German league starting, the Bundesliga starting. That's got to be a massive litmus test. And I think the eyes of Europe, it's Serie A, La Liga, the Premiership, are been watching the games in Germany with bated breath. You know, clinging on to football because it's back in some sort of fashion. And most importantly, they want to see how things may go in when we start the games in the EPL.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I'm getting a bit sick of these. Oh, let's look back at this. Let's look back. This happened 2 years ago. I want to go look in the future. I don't want to keep looking in the past. That's the past. This happened 2 years. This happened.
You're not talking about Arsenal Football Club commemorating Arsene Wenger's last game against Huddersfield, are you, old mate?
Let's not go there. Anyway,
we've got a super chat here from Daniel, the blind Gooner. How you doing, Daniel? Hope you're well, mate. Thanks for tuning in. He's put evening, lads. Hope you're well. I just want to bring this comment up.
Hope you're well.
Just want to bring this comment up. Mike England, he said, my mum's got COVID-19, gutted to be honest. Mike, we'll send you all our love, mate, all our best wishes. You know, and it just, please, just, you know what I mean, pop in the chat whenever you need to, mate. We're always here for you. And just keep your chin up, mate. Hopefully, it's only a mild case. She gets over it quite quick.
Yeah, I hope so. Let's all our best wishes go out.
Fingers crossed.
To you.
Fingers crossed, Mike.
Right, Seamus, you read my mind because that's going to be the first thing that we're going to talk about. And he's put Norwich don't want relegation if the league.
I bet they don't. I bet they don't.
Well, let me get that up quickly. This is what we're going to talk about, boys. This is the first on the agenda, and that is Norwich City. Their director, sporting director, Stuart Webber, says it would be unfair for Premier League teams to be relegated and Championship sides to be promoted if football does not restart in both divisions. What's your thoughts on that, Kenny?
I think the fact of the matter is that you have to have the integrity of competition, and I think what the guy at Norwich City's probably bemoaning that he hasn't got the option of voiding the season to bail Norwich out. So, because the FA have intervened, which they should have done anyway, because I know the Premier League are the cash cow, but the FA are the governing body when it comes to like the rules and discipline as well. Though it's not discipline matter. The fact of the matter is that you've got to prepare for every eventuality, and let's face it, Norwich have played well. You know, like I said, they've been in a lot of games, but up until March the 7th, they are where they should be. You know what I mean? Yes, you know, it can. You know, last 9 games can be a bit of a minefield and anything can happen. But up until that time, you have been, you know, sort of second. Are they bottom of the table, second from bottom?
Bottom, I think, aren't they?
Yeah. They're bottom. Well, they are where they should be. The fact of the matter is that they haven't defended well enough. You know, like I said, especially at set pieces, and I think that I don't think it's fair that we should say let's get Project Restart, but let's just have it halfway. Let's reward clubs who haven't done well by keeping them in the Premiership. That's not what it's all about. You know what I mean? And that goes for not just Norwich. It goes for Watford, Brighton, Aston Villa. You know, you can't have it both ways. You entered this league initially because you knew that if you didn't play well and you got the least points than anyone else, then you're going to go back in the Championship. These are the rules. You can't just bend them. Because what's the point of having the football back if we're just going to say we're no relegation or promotion? What does that say to West Brom, you know, Fulham, who are in the playoffs? And what does it say to Leeds United, who've worked their nuts off? It doesn't send out a good message. So the rules are rules. So I think that's a non-starter as well.
Okay,
in my opinion.
I'll come back to you.
What is he actually complaining about, Terry? I didn't get that very well. What's he actually complaining?
What he's complaining about is that basically what he's saying is that it won't be fair, and I do agree with him, to be honest. So I will counteract what Kenny was saying earlier on, but I'll come back to my point earlier. What he's saying is that if the Premier League finish their season off to play all the rest of their games, and obviously Norwich are still bottom or they, you know, in that relegation thing, then the Premier League would obviously relegate them. But is that fair that they might get relegated after playing all their games, but the Championship will end their season there and Leeds will still get promoted? That's what he's saying.
But what happens in the Championship don't affect him anyway. If they've got him in the bottom of the table and they played all the games, with all due respect, you're down. It shouldn't matter what happens in the other Championship. I know what you're saying, but it's just a way of getting out of it, isn't it? It's just a way of trying to get a loophole so they can stay up, isn't it? They're all going to. At the end of the day, they are. No wonder they won't. Of course, they're going to complain because they know they can't get out. And what better way to do it than make up things like that? But no, I don't agree. I think the Championship needs to be. If the Premier League finishes, though, the Championship does have to finish as well for me. Otherwise, it's ridiculous. I mean, then it's not. It's just not right. But as far as Norwich is concerned, they can't really complain about it because they've gone down and they've played all the games, so they can't complain. The only thing they can complain about is that they don't get the home advantages in the last few games, which is a bit not when other teams have had that home advantage, I suppose, and that doesn't sit maybe too right with me on that. But at the end of the day, there's no easy answer to this. There's no easy way. Whatever way we do it, or whatever way it goes, someone's going to complain, isn't they?
Yeah. Just before I come to you, Diesel, on this, Joseph, he said, question to Terry, bit confused, our players will turn their face away when tackled, which has been mentioned. We will come back to that, Joseph, because that's another topic we're going to talk about. Just getting back to what we was talking about, Diesel, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's I agree with Claude. I think it's if you're gonna what the FA, right, always promote themselves as is it's that word equality. Yeah, over the years, right, that's all we've heard is equality. You can't start the Premier League and not start League One or the Championship, right? What goes for one must go for all, right? That's always been their ethos. I don't believe in it, if I'm honest, because I think they're corrupt as anything, but their words, right? It's all about equality. That's their ethos, right? So therefore, how can you start the Premier League and not the Championship? So I agree with him in that sense. On the flip side of that, though, Norwich are down. I think we all know they're doomed anyway, right? But the chairman, obviously, it seems a little bit to me. Is he trying to get out of this on a technicality, right? Is it a case of, as Claude says, a loophole, right? Basically, he's, trying to take advantage of this pandemic that we're going through, by trying to make out, we've still got 8 or 9 games. If we win half of them, there's a chance we can get out of this. I think we all know they're not, right? But again, he's going to turn around and say, well, prove it.
Yeah.
We can't prove it. So whilst we can't prove it, I have a case, right? So, as Claude was saying, and this is the thing, like we've said it so many times, that there is no right answer. No one wins. I want to say like no one wins. Not everybody wins. There will be losers in this. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think it's going to come to a point where I think the FA, after much deliberation and differing, it will get to a point where they're going to turn around and say, this is what's happening, like it or lump it, this is non-negotiable, otherwise we can't move forward. It's as simple as that. And fall in line or suffer the consequences.
I totally agree with you on what you said on that last bit.
There's going to be complaints whatever way they do it, mate.
Yeah.
Complain about it. Whatever way. If they cancel the season and go on pro rata, we'll still complain about that, wouldn't they? So,
yes, exactly.
Exactly. What's that on the Super Chat?
We've got Slane in the air. Thank you for your contribution, Zane. Really appreciate it, mate. He's put, Claude, people don't realise if we stay in till we get a vaccination comes, which it might not, the country will collapse and there'd be no tax money for the NHS. We have to take calculated risks.
Yeah, but they're taking risks, and what we're doing at the moment, I think we've gone back a bit too. But you know where I stand on this? I don't even think the country has done phase 1 properly. Never mind going on to phase 2.
Claude,
you saw that.
Claude, hold that thought because we're going to come to that in a minute, mate, about the NHS. Let's get the football ones up because we've got a lot to get through tonight, mate. Just my thoughts quickly on the Norwich one is that for me, I think personally that the FA and the Premier League and the Championship need to all come out together more or less in the next couple of days and get this thing sorted, right? The only way for me that I can see this getting sorted, look, like we've all said, I think we'll all agree, everyone in the chat will agree. Doesn't matter what we come up with, what idea we say, there's always going to be someone that don't agree with it. Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest. We've not ever been in this situation before. The Premier League, the FA, you know what I mean? All right, the wars, but they're, they're like 60, 70 years ago now. Do you know what I mean? So we've never had this at all for years and years and years, right? They need to be hard, they need to be harsh, and they just need to come up with a decision. For me, the only way that I can see it happening is that you say the league is the league table and that is it. Wherever you are now, that's where you finish. If you finish at the top, you are the champions of whichever division. So Liverpool, in that case, will be champions of the Premier League. No asterisks. None of that. I don't agree with any of that asterisk. None of that, oh, you've only won it for half a season. No, at the end of the day, they played, 28, 29 games. They're top of the league. We had the chance of being top of the league. Every other team's had a chance of being top of the league. So, you know what I mean? They are there. So they are champions in the right, in my eyes. And unfortunately, I know it's going to be harsh, but there should be no relegations and no promotions in my eyes. That is the easiest and fair way to do it in my eyes, because obviously you still got some teams that have got a game in hand and could get out of relegation in all leagues. So for me, the only way that it can be done and we can get through this is by saying, look, shit happens. I know everyone's done so well this season. Liverpool, Leeds, it can carry on through the leagues. You know what I mean? Liverpool, you're the Premier League champions. League, you're the championship champions. But unfortunately, there's no promotions and no relegations. The season's voided this season, and we hopefully will move on to the next season. That is it for me. I don't know about how you boys think about that. Just before you do, sorry, we've got a
Blimey, Zane. Go on, Sam.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Zane. It's what Claude, 1% of the deaths in hospitals were 20 to 33, 9% were 40 to 59, the rest were over 60. Out of more than 32 deaths during the peak of the pandemic over the last 5 weeks, just 2 have involved under 14s in England and Wales. That's why schools need to open.
Yeah, but even as you said, I was going to say, I don't think the phase. We didn't even do phase 1 properly. Never mind phase 2.
Yeah,
I really do not. I'm not. I think if we'd have gone another few more weeks like we've been going, I think we'd have been better off rather than changing it as he has. But then again, you saw what happened on London Fields. You saw that bit on London Fields. No one was taking any notice, even in the first phase.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
Same. We will come back to this, mate, because obviously I do want to talk. It's a big, talking point, what's been going on at the moment. But I just want to keep to the football bit in a minute because we've got a few to get through. So, sorry, Diesel, what did you think of what I said, mate?
Yeah, first, I just wanted to say, Melina, have you got a channel? Let me know if you have, and I'll watch it as well. Yeah, now, do you know what? I think you've got a point there, right? Because even I was thinking that. I was thinking, do you know what? If they did turn around and say, look, the season will be voided, right? Just say, right? It's going to be voided. So therefore, we feel the fairest possible way that we're going to do it is wherever you are right now, that is it. Season's done, right? Yeah. No, I agree with it because then, again, certain clubs are going to come out and moan. I mean, look at us. I mean, we're 9th. A couple more wins. We could have been up in the top 4, or obviously in a position for Europa. But it's going to get to it's getting to a point where it's got to be a case of we're doing this, like it or lump it, right? Because it's been 2 months now. Time's starting to drag on. All right, one way or another, it's got to be resolved, right? That's one thing we do know. It's got to be resolved one way or the other, right? Right now, every club has had 28 games to get to the position that they want to get in. Yeah. So the position that these clubs are in at the moment are of their doing. No one else's. They're doing. Norwich are bottom. That's their doing, right? Because they haven't won enough games. We're 9th because we haven't won enough games.
Exactly.
So I'm saying it's as simple as that. And to be fair, I can't think of a fairer way. It's going to be harsh, yes, but fair. I'd also say yeah, because if it's not, if we go the other way, there's going to be a lot more losers than what there are winners. At least with this way, everyone's on an equal footing, right? You all know what's what. So no, I do agree, mate. If they went down that route, I couldn't moan. Let's put it that way. I couldn't moan. I couldn't.
All right. I'm glad you sort of do agree, mate. Thank you very much. What about you, Kenny?
Well, the thing about it is that I do hear what you're saying, but the fact of the matter is that rightly so, West Brom and Leeds, if they're prevented from coming through, then they need to send a massive bill to the FA and a bill to the Premier League, because the simple reason is that it's an unfair, it's an unprecedented situation. But by not being in the Premier League, where they're 3/4 of the way there, they are losing out on loads and loads and loads of money. And I'm not just talking about, like I said, the gate money, because there's only me no fans anyway. But they're losing out on some massive TV money. They're losing out on money for BT Sport. They're losing out on money from Sky. They're losing out on money from overseas channels, Opus Australia. Losing out Star Sports money. They're losing out for money from being in sports, Al Jazeera, everything. So then you've got to compensate them. You've got no choice. You can't if you're gonna keep teams that don't deserve to be in the Premiership, in my opinion, and they're going to keep the TV money, then you're going to have to compensate them. The Premier League are going to have to look at that. So I think what you're saying, I can understand that up to a certain extent, and that it's not really fair that one misses out. But I still think that it's hard for me to accept that teams that are in the bottom three that have been there virtually all season are now going to not be playing in their rightful league, which is the Championship. If I was, as I said before, there has to be some lawsuits going to go on, because I'm not encouraging it, but that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
simple as.
Okay. Kenny, right? Sorry. Oh, yeah, go on, mate. Go on. You go first.
I've got two super chats here. I just want to do them before they run out. Zane again, both of them. Thank you very much, mate. He's put Claude, but on a happier note, you can meet one other person in the park. So that means, Claude, you can go on a date again, even with a picnic with Ty. That would be nice.
He's already met someone in the park and it weren't Ty.
Kenny, did you see Kroenke has made 400 million from the crisis? Will we use it for Arsenal?
No, he won't. For simple reasons that any money he makes isn't liquid assets. That's only like value, and that money will go into his loans that he owes to the banks. Because remember, he has the football state. He's had the American football stadium in the USA. Plus, he's got Arsenal, so they'll go back in loans. Any profit you make in any foreign business, the first thing you do is you pay for your creditors. And in terms of like what's going on now with football, any money that Stan puts into the football club will go straight towards the non-playing staff who basically, because of public opinion, we didn't want to go in the furlough scheme. So every penny should go towards them. Nothing towards transfers at the moment time, because it's the least important thing at the moment.
Okay. Alexandra's put kudos to Zane for his support for his channel, man. Exactly. Yeah. And to you, Alexandra, and to you, mate. I just want to bring this one up quickly. Stan Kroenke said, Zane, you got a lovely picture, but stop these annoying super chats. No, don't stop it, Zane. Don't stop it. We love them, mate. We absolutely love you coming on our channel. We love your support. And Stan Kroenke, you're not going to keep the money, mate. It's not going to you. Steve, you were going to say something to Kenny just before I interrupted you. Sorry about that.
Zane puts in contributes more money than Stan Kroenke does, so Stan can't say. No, listen, Kenny, I was just going to say that you might know this. Obviously, I don't, right? And it's just a question. Obviously, I'm not too up on the law, but I keep hearing about possible lawsuits. So if we go down that route, certain clubs won't be happy. There could be lawsuits. If we go down that route, other clubs won't be happy. Again, possible lawsuits, right? And am I right? I don't know if it's just me being stupid, right? Am I right in saying that because of this pandemic, something that obviously we've never, this is new to it, it's alien to us, right? Would a lawsuit still count because there's a little part of me, right, that thinks, I know we have laws and we have rules, but in due to this pandemic that we're going through at the moment, there's a little part of me that thinks certain rules and laws would be ripped up and certain new ones would be. I don't know.
The law's the law, because simple reasons you still got to follow the law. It's just a situation like, for instance, if you work in, say, like local taxation, if you're members of staff that are furloughed, then what will happen is that they're still getting paid, so they've still got to pay the council tax. They've still got to make sure that they pay all the other things like rent, because they're getting paid. Those who have been made redundant or have to go and get universal credit. So that way you get around it. It's the same thing with law. You can't change the law. What you can do is that any sort of lawsuits you're going to delay, because you don't want a situation where you've got loads of lawsuits and you've got mass gatherings around the courts. You want to keep the courts as small as possible and with less cases and less people. However, the law's the law, and the fact of the matter is that the Premiership will be breaking its rules, and it goes for the Championship as well. If a Championship club does not advance in the Premiership, because at the end of the day, if you're ending the season, but you're not having null and void, and you're saying final positions, then the last 3 clubs have to be relegated, which means the first 2 clubs will definitely go through because they're the top 2 clubs, and the third club you may have a situation where maybe 2 clubs are going, but by law and by Premiership rules, Leeds and West Bromwich Albion, if the season finishes like that, have to go through, unless the FA and the Premiership have got some nice little money, because that TV money they make from all over the world, they're going to have to compensate the clubs from the Championship, and rightly so, because you can't break the rules, and you can't have a situation where these, because you know what happens in football anyway. A lot of football clubs spend the money before they get in. Right, Leeds generally believe that if they're coming up, they've already got their budget. They already know which players they're going to get. They know how much they cost. They've already decided it with the agents, and they probably, paid some
bonuses
money on a promise.
Yeah,
bonuses as well.
Yeah.
So again, they need to be compensated.
So I was going to say, Tel, right? If I don't know, obviously because of what's going on at the moment, I don't know if this is still the case, but normally, and this is maybe why I don't feel too sorry for clubs who get relegated, because they get parachute payments, don't they? Right? And I'm sure I read a stat somewhere saying I think parachute payments are around about 100 million. So a relegated team in the Premier League will get more money than, for example, Bayern Munich winning their league. That's mad. Yeah. So I don't know if that'll be the case this season if a team does get relegated, but I'm sure it's going to be a pretty penny.
He says, Kenny, even though I'm a Conservative, so is Kenny, by the way.
No, I'm not Labour. No, I'm not. No, I'm Labour.
Claude, don't start.
Sorry. I thought you. Oh, sorry.
Not a chance.
What's that poster of Boris Johnson? There's a poster.
The only connection I have with Boris Johnson, he used to live on Holloway Road. That's the only connection I have with him.
All right. Even though even though he's a Conservative, should we put an extra tax after his pandemic for the NHS? Maybe put a tax on big transfers also and use it for the NHS. What do you think?
Not at all. Well, first and foremost, the first question Zane's right. It's going to happen anyway, and the reason why is because the government have borrowed like billions of pounds from the Bank of England, and also from countries that they borrow money from. So basically, what the situation is that money has to be repaid. I understand that we're going to be furloughing staff all the way up until October. So again, what started out as 34 million could go into like the hundreds of billions. So 34 billion. So what's happening now is inevitable. 2 things: that we're going to have a recession. That it's highly likely that those people who've been furloughed will have no job to go back to because of the situations that no money's been coming in, and that some of these companies may have to go bust. And what is highly likely is that our taxes will go up because simple reason this money has to be paid back. So what?
Then it would have happened if it was Labour, Lib Dems, or Conservative. Let's be honest. I mean, Put parties things aside. Do you know what I mean? The government had to help out no matter what, didn't they?
100% they had to help out. But the fact of the matter is, it's at a price. It's only at a price for the taxpayer. I don't think. And second question as well, in terms of football, that won't make a difference as well, because football already pays a lot of enterprise tax towards central government. Hence the fact that they're very keen for it to go back on, for simple reasons that they're having a situation where there is no money coming into the treasury. Remember, there's 2% less growth in the economy, and that can't carry on, because if if he's furloughing people to October, then what we're saying is that we're expecting more and more situations. And then one thing I would say as well, there's a lot of companies that the government are saying shouldn't be really part of the furlough scheme. They actually should be out to work because they're still providing service. So basically, the situation is that there's going to be a lot of companies now who have to come off the furlough scheme and pay their staff as normal, although the government might carry on making a contribution, but they're going to have to go into work as well. So we have a situation where they want to get everything kick-started.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's this? I thought we was already in Brexit, aren't we?
Yeah,
not so
exactly. Kenny, we should delay Brexit to sort out this pandemic. We've left.
We've left, but it's a deal anyway. We've still got situations over the Irish border to sort out. But I would, yeah, you're right, Alexander. I was being nice when I said recession. Yeah, you're right. It could be a global depression, but let's just pray it doesn't happen. And that's one of the reasons why, change the subject rightly, and I just want to say it at the point of view, I've got the greatest respect from everyone who, like I said, is saying stay safe, keep safe, don't keep your social distancing, don't go when you have to. But one thing you do have to realise, right, is that there's a lot of people who are reliant, who need to get back to work for financial reasons. They've got mortgages to pay, they've got nursery fees to pay, and some of them work within football. As much as you're saying, oh, please, let's just delay everything till fans get to the ground. Let's delay everything because of time. You've got to realise that a lot of these people who work in football may not even be football fans. They're just normal people who need to be in work. So I think sometimes when you hear Piers Morgan, on his white Charger and using his platform for GMP, I just think, you know what? There's another side to this, because if people do lose their jobs, there is another health situation. And I'm not going to go into that because obviously you guys have specialised in mental health, but you know where this is going to lead to. So obviously you guys know that already. So I don't have to tell you something you don't know.
I want to bring that up, what you're saying, in the next sort of thing, because it sort of ties in with what we're going to talk about. But Zane again said, Kenny, we can't furlough forever as we can't afford it, which is true.
100%. And that's what's going to happen, is that you're going to have a situation by October, you want to have a lot of people on universal credit, and they're going to have to apply for, like I said, CTRS, because you can't do it forever. But that's the thing, you may have high unemployment in this country. And that's why one of the reasons why I'm trying to say is that it's not as easy as it comes. People are going into work packing the shoes because they have to go in.
Yeah. Because
they can't work from home.
All right, just quickly to finish off what we were talking about, first of all, Claude, you didn't get your say on what I said. Do you remember what I said about Norwich and that?
No, I mean, I did make the point that they shouldn't really could. If they go down, they deserve to go down. And I think it's a bit cheap to say about the Championship, even though both should complete the season. That's a bit cheap to say, oh, well, they shouldn't come up because if they've gone down because they finished the season and they deserve to go down. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Right, so let's move on to my second thing, what I want to bring up, and that is... and that's about the Premiership and the players taking tests. Where are we? The Premier League footballers have been told they should expect to receive their results of coronavirus tests in just 24 hours. Despite numerous objections to Project Restart, top flight football in England is set to resume on June the 12th. More than 2 months on from the decision to suspend the season as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. But the speed at which players will receive their results is likely to spark fresh controversy, especially given NHS and social care workers have been advised to wait between 48 and 72 hours to find out if they can contract the disease by the government's testing scheme. I mean, that in itself, boys, is an absolute joke if that's true from my eyes. But we've got a couple of super chats again quickly that I need to bring up. Saying
Oh, sorry, go on.
Saying put Piers Morgan is a scaremonger. Would he take a pay cut? I doubt it. And Alexander's put, can you folks confirm, please, if is true price of groceries increased over the pandemic in the UK? Here in America, prices have increased 150%.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think Piers Morgan gets a bit of an hard time. I've openly come out on this channel and said I love what he's doing. I get what you're saying, Kenny. There's always two sides, and there's a good and a bad. But some of the things he's done, some of the questions he's forced them to answer, some of the things he's asked them that we're all asking, but because he's got a voice on a platform, I can only commend him, if I'm honest. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, well, one thing I was going to say something short about Piers Morgan. I hear what you're saying, and I hear that you say one thing you need to realise about someone like Piers Morgan is that Piers Morgan's a skilled journalist, a skilled media man, and he knows the rule by thumb when you work in the media is that whoever positions himself on an issue and gets there first, they become their spokesman. And that's what Piers is doing. And that's why I understand what Piers is doing. He's got a duty to do that. But you get the feeling from Piers that he doesn't want us to come out this nightmare because he is becoming the story. It's like he's got his role now and he doesn't want to relinquish that role. He is asking the questions that everyone should be asking. And he's got every right to do that. However, when you've got a situation where you've got Lorraine Kelly and you've got Susanna Reid bemoaning the fact they can't see their parents, are very emotional about it. This guy went, well, they're going to die. I don't appreciate Piers doing that. I don't appreciate the way Piers is doing that. He's come out with facts and figures. He's right to do it. But the way he's doing it, it's just giving me the impression that he's doing what he always does, is that he gets to the forefront of an issue and makes sure he's the public spokesman.
But let's not forget that, Kenny. The only thing I'll say about that personally, right, is that you look at all these everyday briefings that we keep having at 5 o'clock, yeah? Actually, I want to get back to the testing. We will get back to that, but just quickly what you're saying is that all these briefings every day with these news reporters, right? Let's be honest, who ain't fucking fed up with them? I'm going to be, you know what I mean? Who ain't fed up with asking them the same silly question? It is the same silly question they ask every single day, right? When are we going to get this PPE? When are we going to do this? Why? And the reason why they won't go on Piers Morgan, let's be honest, is because they don't actually know the fucking answer to the question.
That's the thing. Well, no one's got any answers. The fact that what we do know is that in terms of like the technology and finding this vaccine and getting a test is way behind other countries. Like I said, you'll think that the country that first got coronavirus was China, so they're going to be well advanced in tackling this problem. So, but in terms of like England, you've got to realise that we're very much in infancy. You've got to realise, right, is that we only started lockdown on March the 20th, on a Friday, March the 20th, which is probably in some cases probably 2 or 3 weeks too late because we were scared about the impact of the economy and we thought we wanted to do the herd community, which the scientists advised. Stuff like testing was way behind. So if you've got situations where you were 4 weeks behind everyone else, and then all of a sudden you're trying to deal with a pandemic, and you're going, oh, we've got to think about testing now. It's one of those things where the government haven't got the answer. I'm not defending them. I'm just stating facts. No one's got the answers to it. I don't think there's actually a vaccine that works because no one's tested it. And I think what the situation is that all you're going to do is just test people. And then say, right, quarantine for a while. If your symptoms are serious, we're going to make sure that you don't have a situation that we're going to give you as much as like I said, medicine as we can. Please let it not lead to something like a pneumonia. Please, we hope that you don't have any underlying health issues, which happens with a lot of people in the Afro-Caribbean community, Turkish community, and the Greek Cypriot community. That's why their numbers are going up because of the underlying health issues, because a lot of people from our communities don't get their MOTs at 40. These are loads of issues that people haven't taken into consideration. And Piers has got every right to ask the question, but Piers needs to realise one thing is there's no answer to that. So you're asking a question which you virtually know the answer to anyway. And that's what I'm saying about Piers.
But they don't tell us the answer, though, Kenny. They answer it very much in the politician's way.
Exactly.
So that really you could look at it as they're taking us as idiots, because we all know what's what and they know what's what, but don't beat around the bush like on News Time or whatever that program is. Tell it how it is and come out. And that's what I love about Piers Morgan, because he cuts through the crap. Do you know what I'm saying?
Trouble is, but the trouble is that if you're a politician, you got a political hot potato. You're not going to go up and I'm not going to go up and tell you. Or tell Claude and Diesel, say, oh, by the way, I was voted in because I'm basically the reason why the Conservatives get in power is because we're the government that's more likely to keep the economy intact. Oh, so what we want to do is that we care more about the economy than people's health, because at the end of the day, we don't want a situation where we're going to have to pay people benefit because of this situation. So we're balancing what we're telling people, because really, we want you to get back to work, and we want this disease to do its life. But we have to keep you in because of the deaths. But ultimately, that's what it is. But they don't want to tell you that.
Actually, what you're saying now, I want to come back to that, because I've got my own opinion of that one. Zane said, Kenny, why don't private medical offer people tests so the NHS is less burden? Well,
trust me, they're doing that already. The fact of the matter is that everyone is contributing to this. The private sector. You've got to realise the same doctors who work for the NHS work for the private sector. They're the same people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they're all doing it.
Just getting back to the testing, what I was saying, right? This, in my eyes, I can't see, right, how the Premier League can start and they finish the season, right, and say that they're going to be testing everyone, right? Just going on hearsay. I mean, this is only hearsay, right? And that's what they reckon, that there'd be like 300 tests, 300 people at a game. Yeah, so that includes 2 teams, obviously the physios, the directors, the managers, the ambulance people that'll be there, the medics, the TV people, and all that. Yeah, so they're guessing at about 300 people a game, right? So you've got 10 games in the Premiership, right? So that 10 games, that equals 3,000 people. Right. So, and not only is that 3,000 people, then they're going to have at least 2 tests a week. So that's 6,000 tests that they're going to do a week. Minimum for us to bring football back, because apparently we, as the supporters, think that it should be finished. Now, what about the government, right? The government said that they would be testing 100,000 people a day at the end of April, and they still ain't doing that now. So we're expecting to take 6,000 tests away from people in the NHS so that the Premiership can finish the football. I don't think so.
Terry, mate, you just answered your question. The government have just answered your question. Football's just answered the question. One of the things we've dealt with, and what we already know, is that the themes that we've talked about today is loss of income. The Premiership, whether we like it or not, is a £1 billion industry.
Yeah, but Kenny, I know what you're going to say there. Sorry to interrupt. I know you're going to say, but there's other companies out there that's a £1 billion industry.
Yeah,
I don't care about money. Money. No one should care about money in this situation.
But the problem is, there are people who do. There are people who are relying on the football. We go back, and
those people
we all do. But the fact of the matter is that there's no winners in that. The fact of the matter is that you want people who want to be healthy, want to prolong their lives, but also they don't want a situation where their livelihoods are being updated. I'm not saying, it's not just football, but it's very easy for me to say, because I work for the London Borough of Islington, right? And I know for a fact that I can just work from home. I've got a job. My job's secure because I'm needed. I can work from home. So I could say that. My biggest concern, whether we like it or not, is the person. I worry about the people being furloughed. I worry about the situation, about the financial impact on normal people, because let's get it right. It's always, whenever something happens like this global pandemic, right, it's normal people who get hurt, right? Normal people who are going to lose their jobs because their industries have gone out of business. They're the ones going to be suffering. And I'm talking about within the football situation, there are normal people who are going to lose, like I said, who work within football, who probably earn, $5 an hour, but they're going to be part of that kind of the match day experience. I hear what you're saying, but do if you don't, do you don't. If you say, right, let's just stop everything until we get the sufficient tests and sufficient vaccines, that's fine. But everything's at full stop. We're talking about a massive depression, not just in football, around life as well, because football's part of life. You know what I mean? But as we're a football situation, the rules tell. We all play in this game of being a stakeholder in football. We're all stakeholders. Diesel, you're a stakeholder. Claude, you're a stakeholder. I'm a stakeholder. Tell, you're a stakeholder. We're all stakeholders in this game, which is football. Now, whether we like it or not, we can say the right things and mean it, but there's going to be a domino effect, which is going to be catastrophic for the whole game. The longer this goes on, there won't be a football club to go back to. And I'm not talking about Arsenal. We're talking about other clubs.
Yeah, no, I want to come to that one straight after we talk about the test, Kenny, because I've got that and all. Claude, what's your feeling on this, mate?
The feeling is the tests are... they are obviously they must be treated as essential workers. Then our footballers essential workers. This is what we've been told. That are they essential, Kenny? You think are they essential for you?
Well, if they're clubs of if you look at someone like Bournemouth, all right. If you play for Bournemouth, you are essential worker because 88% of your income comes from TV. So you're an essential worker. That business goes bust. Yeah. I'm sorry about the reality, but if you look at all the football clubs, if you go from the bottom clubs, 80% of their TV income, down to the top clubs, that's nearly 50% of their income comes from TV. So, in that respect, for their companies and for the Premiership, they are essential workers because of the money they bring in.
Yeah. Do you know what? Right, I was just about.
Are they more essential than the people on the front line, like the NHS, the emergency
people, the police, the firemen?
Are they more essential than them? I'm saying.
Supply and demand, Claude. Supply and demand. I'm sorry to say it. I'm a Labour left wing as you come, but supply and demand. We live in a bastard world. Supply and demand.
But tonight you're talking like a Tory, Ken.
I'm a realist, Claude. I don't make the rules up, Claude. I'm a realist. End of the day, we're all playing this game. Tell you've got a season ticket. You're playing the game. I've got a season ticket. I'm playing the game. So you, Claude. Diesel, I'm sure you've got some sort of membership. You're all part of this game, and you're all part of this stakeholder industry. All right. The first thing you're thinking right now, subconsciously, and you're going to be thinking about it because I'm going to get you thinking about it. Well, I've got my season ticket. This game hasn't happened. Are they going to give me my money back?
But I'll be honest with you, Kenny. I have not thought about that once.
Well, you are now because I put that thought into your head.
I haven't because at the end of the day, I've paid that money and it's gone now at the moment. So it's
gone. But here it's gone. But you're a stakeholder within the game, and the reality is, you're probably going to come to this anyway. You're not going to be in a football ground for about 18 months.
Yeah, no, I know that. Listen, it's all right you saying that footballers need to get back. We all need to get back to a job and things like that, right? That's fine. That's not a problem. But then what happens? Right? What happens? Come Saturday, the Premiership's back. Right, they all get tested. They all get tested on that Friday night. They get their test back. They've got nothing. They haven't got the corona. They play that game on Saturday. Sunday they get tested Saturday night. Sunday, one of them have been tested positive. That means then that two old teams and 600 people now have to go into isolation. What happens to the league then?
But that's the thing. That is a risk that these guys are prepared to take for their financial reasons.
Who are going to take the risk? Guerrero has actually come out and said that he does not want to put his family
and he's well within his rights. So is Danny Rose, and so is the other players well within their rights. But the same situation is that an NHS worker, a policeman, a fireman, an essential worker will say, "Well, hang on here, we're having to go into work. We're having to take those risks." So you know what I mean? And so they don't. They're not going to show. Yeah, an emergency.
Football ain't an emergency.
Oh, it may not be an emergency, but for you tell that to Bournemouth, Football Club that can go bust if we don't. It's an emergency for Bournemouth Football Club.
I don't know why you don't put that blue rosette on tonight, Kenny.
Claude, I'm 48 years old, mate. I'm 48 years old. I've been slapped in the face with a wet fish. The reality slap has hit me square between the eyes.
Yeah. I think you're bringing some points up there. Yeah.
It's basically what it is.
This is where I'm looking at it, right? Essential worker. Is he less important? That essential worker that's about to save someone's life in a hospital, right? Is he more important than someone kicking a bag of wind around the football pitch?
Claude, it's the same question as I said before, and this goes for all of you guys. You say, why do footballers earn £50,000 a week and nurses earn about £50,000? The best nurses only earn £50,000 a year. The reason why is supply and demand. You're not going to pack a stadium of watching a nurse give someone a bed bath or watching a nurse pushing someone in a commoder. But you're filling the stadium. But you're filling the stadium. Claude, you're filling a stadium full of people who fill the stadiums and fill TV schedules. It's a bastard world. I'm sorry. But the fact is that not enough people are talking about the reality of the situation.
In other words, we're just a number. We're just a number.
Yes. That's all you are.
All we got to say. There we go. That's it. That's it.
Right. Do you know what?
Reality. It's reality. Kenny's being real. It's real. Yeah. That's the reality of life. We are just a number. And that is true. We are just a number. No one's going to worry about Joe Bloggs getting dying tomorrow, as long as they can see, as long as they see Paul Popper on the pitch in 3 weeks' time. It's the reality of life. Exactly. True. It's true. Unfortunately, that's how it goes.
That's right. Diesel.
Diesel. No, Julius, I was just going to say, right, going back to that question about are they essential workers, right? Now, straight away in my head, I thought, no, nowhere near. And then Kenny said something which made me think, do you know what? Actually, if you look at it, without these players on the pitch, no one at the club can work. So, in turn, does that then make them essential workers? You know, let's be honest, it probably does. You know, the guy in the armory, Gunnosaurus, you know, the guys who, you know, serve up the food and the drink. Without a game, without these players playing on the pitch, those guys can't work. So in turn, does that make footballers essential workers? If I'm honest, lads, it probably does. My whole thing has always been, and I won't stray away from this, and guys in the chat, Alex Wilden, Carefree, Gibbs, Melina, all of you guys, right? Do you agree? My whole thing is
on Saturday and Sunday, they're essential workers. Wow.
Exactly. My whole thing has always been, right, Kenny, we're being told, right, there are not enough resources, right? Testing, you know, all that sort of stuff. So when I'm hearing, on the other hand, when I'm hearing that these footballers are going to be tested twice a week, right, and yet Nora the nurse down the road can't even get her hands on one, and she's just coming off a 23-hour shift. In my eyes, and obviously not just the NHS, the people in the supermarkets who also risk their lives so that we can go in there and get our food and shopping, right? If they can't get resources and yet footballers can, for me, I'm out. It's disgusting, and I'll go on record and say that. You got to realise, right? Man. Yeah, but you're right in a situation, but you've got to realise, right? The NHS, the police, the firemen, the supermarket workers, that's going to be public money.
as I said, you talk with football as a £1 billion industry. That is money that is going to be paid by itself. You know the score. Whoever pays the most, who gives the most honey, pays the most money, gets the most honey.
Again,
That's
it's
how it
money.
is.
It's money, isn't it?
Yes,
I'm saying,
it is. It is.
can you put a price on a life?
Kenny.
Not really, but
No,
yeah,
you're right. No, you're right. I agree with
no,
you.
you can't. But
Kenny,
try
Kenny,
and
you
tell
can't have
some of
it
that.
both ways. Kenny, you can't have it both ways. Like Stan Kroenke and all these other ones can't have it both ways. You can't put the prices at the Emirates like as high as they are. We're one of the dearest ones, you know, tickets prices, season tickets there are in the Premier League, right? You can't have prices of the food and the drink in the stadium double the price of what it is outside, making all this money every weekend, and then when it comes to a situation like this, you can't go the other way. I'm sorry, I'm not having that. He's making billions and billions of pounds every bloody week out of us, right? Every week. Now, just because there's a situation where it's going the other way,
over 3 million.
There's a situation where it's going the other way. Oh no, hold up. We can't let him put his own hands in his own pockets to help us out. Fuck that.
This is about Kroenke. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, you and I know that when it comes to football and any business, right? Every billionaire who puts money into their club, it is not money to spend. It's a loan. Abramovich is loaning Chelsea that money. So is Sheikh Mansour. The money that Kroenke has put towards the, like I said, the operational staff and non-football staff, that's a loan which you've got to pay back to them.
Richard Branson
all this stuff
has asked for a loan for his staff, isn't he?
So that's the thing. These people, if you put your personal wealth into a business, then you're loaning the money to the company.
How did they get the money in the first place, Penny? How did they get the money in the first place?
They get the money through the football club. The simple reason is that you get the money mostly from TV. Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's the thing. The money you get from the fans on TV, that is operational cost, which goes towards things like players and goes towards player salaries. Let's not forget, we broke our transfer record 3 times in the last 3 years. So there's evidence that money is being spent, not as much as other clubs, but it's probably more than other clubs. We can't say they're not paying their money.
It's recruitment that's wrong.
And also,
it's the recruitment.
You know what? Let's give Arsenal some praise sometimes. I know we knock them a lot, but all the top execs have taken a 33% pay cut. There's not many other clubs who have done that, and we haven't furloughed our staff. So, we've got to give them props, Rob, when it's due. Do you know what I mean? But,
I want to quickly move on to the next part, which we've sort of incorporated in what we were just talking about. But before I do, just want to remind everyone again, please go and sign up to Hotmic. It's our other new platform that we're going live on with YouTube at the same time. Go to Google Play Store and Apple Store, download the app, put in our code CBS301, and like and share on both, please. It really helps us out if you can like and share on both, and we will really appreciate it. And also, while you're over on Hotmic, go and give Anfield Agenda a follow with their code. Just go and give them a follow because they're really nice guys over there.
Can I make a point, Kenny? Can I just say something about Anfield Agenda? Top man for your show we held that other week. Top man, well said, son. And you know what I mean. And that's all I've got to say. Top man, Anfield Agenda.
Kenny, you're getting me in trouble here, mate. I'm not allowed to speak about that individual, I'm afraid. Sorry, mate.
Right. This is going on the other side of what you were saying, Kim. Right, you know what I mean? We should bring football back. We should bring the Premier League back. They should be playing football. We should have 6,000 tests, and you know what I mean? They can all be tested and get this money back. But let's look at League One and League Two, right? Give me, do you know, right? I was listening to someone the other day, a well-known reporter on League One and League Two, knows his stuff. And he was saying there's a big problem, right? And the consensus is with League One and League Two that they have to end the season now, right? And that's because on July the 1st, how many contracted players do you think are out of contract in League One and League Two? So that's professional, the ones that are on the book, the first 11, reserve team, youth team, and YTS. How many players do you think are out of contract on the 1st of July?
But I reckon there's about 1,000 footballers going to be out of contract. 1,000. I think it's in 1,000.
It's 1,400.
And
1,400 players are going to be
yes.
out of contract, right, from their clubs on the 1st of July, right? So that means, right, if football does come back, these teams ain't going to have a team to put out, because not only can they not get these players back on a 2 or 3 month contract to help them finish the contract off, but they will not get insured. They won't get insured.
I think the thing about it, right, it's a good point you made about insurance as well. Is that I think that is the situation, which is something that, you know, Parry and the EPL needs to look at. He's talked a lot about the fact about the money they're going to lose, but he hasn't provided us with any contingency plans for especially the lower league players. But the thing you mentioned is insurance, and I'll tell you one thing now, man, is that the insurers are going to. It's basically. And I know I sound like bloody those horrible party, but this situation is an insuranceman's wet dream. Can you imagine how many companies need to be insured because of this situation? Because of, you know, the company you work for, the company you work for, Diesel, Arsenal Football Club's got to be insured, the Premiership's got to be insured, everything's got to be insured now, because the situation now is that is one thing we do know, is that because the pandemic has happened, we have to assume that it'll happen again, and we need to be prepared financially. I'm afraid.
Every contract again. Every contract.
And this is the biggest lesson. This is the biggest lesson here. And sadly, in terms of like football fans, especially who live for the game and live for going to their matches, your tickets are going to increase. You're going to be playing on. You're going to have reduced capacities. Because this is something we're going to have for the rest of life. You want to go to the theatre, you're going to have a situation where they're going to have reduced capacity of theatres, which means the price of your football tickets are going to go up, and the price of your theatre tickets are going to go up because they're going to be scarce. So people like all of us, the main Joe Public and ordinary Joe, we're the ones who are going to be hit the hardest financially when this all comes back.
Do you think season tickets will go up, Ken?
Well, you look at a situation. You can't have a situation where you've got a 60,000 capacity where everyone's sort of sitting close up together. If you're going to practice social distancing, do you do it permanently or you do it temporarily? Because you're not going to be in the stadiums for about 18 months if this is what I'm hearing. So if
that's minimum. That's minimum.
Then for 18 months, are they going to allow all 60,000 fans to go in? Are they going to reduce the stadium? Or are they going to have to spend money and making alterations for fire exits, alteration of fans, and all those stadiums? I think we're in a situation where we're going to have to pay the cost.
But this is irrelevant, isn't it? Because if Stan Kroenke, who's a billionaire, can't afford to help out his own club, then how can the Joe Public, like me, Diesel, yourself, Kenny, and Claude, afford to go to a football match? We can't.
Well, that's the situation, and that's the thing. If a ticket's scarce, it's not because of the fact that they're doing alteration. That's only a small part. It's because the demand is going to outweigh the supply, so they're going to go up. I fear that all these stadiums have to be made alterated for COVID-19 or coronavirus, because everyone's talking about social distancing. You can't just go from one extreme to another, just like a click of the fingers. It's something that that moving forward, it's not important now, but we have to think of tomorrow. If you're a football fan who's paying for your season ticket, you've got to think about tomorrow.
So
I'm thinking about tomorrow, Kenny. I'm thinking about staying alive, not about football.
And I hear you, Tel. But you've got to realise one thing, right? But Tel, I hear you, and I've got a great respect for that. But when we will get through this, things will get back normal-ish. You will be eventually thinking about your situation and you're going to the Arsenal. You're not thinking about it now, but you will be, because life is like that, where situations are temporary.
Ken, I know exactly what you're saying, right? But at the moment, listen, let's put it into perspective here, right? We're talking about 22 men going to play football on a pitch, yeah? Which is a massive, massive health risk. Let's be honest, it's a massive health risk, no matter which way you look at it. Not just but everybody else involved, right? So they all them can go to that ground. 300 people can go to that ground. But me, you, Diesel, and Claude now, I can't go to the park and I can't go and see my mum and dad. I can see my mum. I can see my mum, but then I can't see my dad because I'm only allowed to see one other person.
But if Terry's got a cleaner, by all means, she can come in.
But you've got to realise the fact of the matter is that it's you're not always going to please everyone when it regards to that, because simple reason, if businesses see their workers as essential workers, let's remember, football, although it's a spectator sport and a pastime for me and you, these guys are actually at work. So the club.
Sorry,
footballers are workers. They are workers.
They're
professionals.
I just what Terry just said about you can see his mum, but you can't see both. That doesn't make sense, because if you see one, surely the other one can pass it on to the other one anyway.
Exactly.
So I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense at all.
Exactly. And let's be honest. How can I not see my dad?
Ridiculous.
How can I not see my mum and dad who's living in?
This is what I'm telling you about politicians, right? Politicians, mate. I'd rather have 600 sheep in the House of Commons. No, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah, but you've got to realise that it's that. Those bums and those seats. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to realise about politics, right? All right, and I say it with the greatest respect to the electorate. They only need you once in 5 years, mate. They don't need you between years 2 and 4. But years 1 and 5, they need you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Look, listen, at the end of the day, I said it from the start, right? I said it from the start. This whole situation will all come down to money. Nothing else. It will be nothing else, right? From day one, since they've been doing their briefings.
You've got to realise, Terry, that's the whole point. Yeah. Money is more important than you. You're just a number. We're just numbers.
Exactly.
We're just a number on that. No one gives a shit about you. As I said, no one gives a shit about you or these, or as long as they can put top you in the pitch in 3 weeks' time. That's more important than your life.
Honestly, right?
That's more important than your life.
And this is going to sound really controversial, right? And apologies, but this is like my thoughts on it, right? I told the lads earlier on. I recently watched a film called Outbreak, right? If anyone hasn't seen it, watch it. It's brilliant. Not Outbreak, Contagion. Sorry, right? Contagion, and it was very similar. So it was 9 years ago, and what you saw there, right, was a pandemic where people literally went mad, right? They flooded the shops. I've heard of women, elderly ladies, when we had a toilet roll shortage, getting mugged for a toilet roll and that sort of stuff, right? When it comes to it, Kenny, right, let's be honest, when it really comes to it, each man for themselves, right? That's a fact. Yep. That is. I'm not deluded to think, let's all love each other and help each other. And no, I haven't got it. You've got it. I'm coming after you.
And tell Diesel and Claude, I bet you every penny in my bank account that during the war, when they were feeding us all that stuff, like we all stuck together, rubbish. They're all little shysters then during those times. A shyster's a shyster, whether it's the 1940s or 2020. Everyone's in it for themselves because it's human character.
More of a community spirit then, Kenny. More community spirit then.
Claude, you weren't born then, mate. Neither was I. How do you know?
How
do you know you weren't born?
Because I watched The World at War, the programme, The World at War. So
come on, Claude, mate. Claude, you work in the media now. So do you, Terry, because you've got this channel. You know how the media works. You show people what they want to see, eh? Come on. I don't need to break it to you guys. You're now media experts.
Oh, I don't know about that, but that's kind of you to say.
But you are. You look at all the comments. You've carefully picked all the comments. That's what people do. Haven't you?
No, hold on. It's getting too depressing now. Let's move on to something more.
Yeah, just 2 seconds, Claude. Just 2 seconds. You took that off. Chadwick.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
mate. Go on.
That's all right, mate. It's all right. So Chadwick said every day is getting better. Every day is getting better because we was in lockdown, Chadwick. And now we've come out with it. We've come out of it now, right? And we're supposed to be taking little steps. Little steps we'll be supposed to be taking. Monday, as soon as he said it, Monday, everything went back to normal. I don't care what anybody says. All right, there's still a little bit more traffic to come, but the traffic on the road during the day, the traffic in the train stations, the traffic is ridiculous, right? So, let me just say something. Hold up, because I want to say this. Is that today they said, right? The government said on that briefing, 3,000 new people today have been tested. Well, yesterday was tested positive for the coronavirus. Yesterday, 3,000 people. So the day before, they must have had it. So how many people did them 3,000 people have
Come into contact with? Exactly. Yeah.
So how many more people out there have got it that we don't know? That's what I'm saying. So all we're doing now for everyone that wants football back, for everyone that wants to construct people back, for everyone that wants work back, all we're doing now, and the people that want this, please, I want you to hold your hands up when it comes to it, because all we're doing now is causing the biggest second spike there's ever going to be. And then this will put the world in more danger anyway. So if that's what you want, then thank you very much.
No one wants it. But the fact of the matter is that there are people who are in different positions to us who, whether they like it or not, are going to take a risk. You've got to realise, right, as a government, the reason why you're seeing probably more people on the roads and more people on the trains is because that thing I said on the beginning of the thing, there's some of the companies that put themselves in furlough, which probably shouldn't be part of the furlough scheme, and now be told the government, well, actually, we want you back in work. So if some of these people can't work from home, but they've got to go in, they're going to go in, and that's where you're going to have more people on a bus. I saw like on the internet, one of the buses not too far from Barnet, where it was packed.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Transport as well, isn't it? The transport is free as well now because you can't touch anything, you can't do any touching, so it's all free, isn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, sorry, Ken.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah, no, Deans, were you going to say something? Sorry.
No, all I was going to say was, as much as we say that, right? I do. There is a little flip side to it. I get what you're saying, Kenny, about people who have to go back to work. I mean, I know of people whose companies, the company who they work for, are being absolute arseholes, if I'm honest, right? And so we have to remember as well, not every company is playing by the rules. Not every company is morally right. There's a lot of companies out there who are more or less forcing their staff, look, either you come back or you're gone, right? And as much as we say it's wrong, we all know that, we're not stupid, right? A lot of companies are doing that, right? So that it puts that person in a predicament. They've got kids, right? They've got kids to feed, they've got kids to clothe. Do I say, well, no, I want to be safe, obviously look after the kids and not go to work, but then I'm out of a job, and for me to get back into a job right now it's not going to happen, right? So we're lucky we're not in a dilemma like that, but I can only imagine there are especially single parents who've got kids to feed. The only way I'm going to be able to feed them is to walk out that front door and go back to my job. I don't want to do it, but they're telling me if I'm not in by 9 o'clock tomorrow, don't bother coming back again. I get it.
Yeah.
So we all have to look at that side as well, because that goes on. Trust me, that's common. That is common.
Chadwick Moffat said to start reopening countries need to be able to test everyone who is going out to work weekly. The only way to contain it. Have any of you been tested? I haven't been tested, mate.
No.
Be honest.
Neither have I. I think the thing about it is that it's one of those things, right? Is that you obviously they're going to test the people that are more vulnerable because, as I said before, there are people with underlying health conditions, especially when they get the health MT. They're going to have to be a priority. So, like, for instance, you've got asthma, you've got all things like maybe heart conditions or cancer. Obviously, you've got to go front in the queue. I think it'd be simple reasons that you don't want a situation where you have the sort of like double whammy of your underlying health condition plus coronavirus. It's a violent illness. I've been told, because I don't have it, on its own. But with that, oh come on, it's you know what I mean. They got to be a priority. So
Mike England's got childcare, right? He's got childcare. Listen, I know a lot.
Exactly.
I know a lot about that, and that's a whole new can of worms, mate. I could talk to you about that for another half hour, which we haven't got time, sadly. But how can you keep 2 to 3 year olds 2 meters apart in a setting?
Sorry, mate. I've just very quick one. That Mike, pick up yourself. I've just seen this comment, right? You've put. This is a great comment, and I'll tell you why, right? Boris will say, look, don't use trains or public transport unless absolutely necessary. Yeah. Fine, not a problem. I've got a car I can drive. Yeah. The minute I park on that street, right, you're going to get I'm going to get a ticket. Right. So how about for the foreseeable future, right, you ease the parking fees or whatever, or allow us to park, because you know, it's all about saving lives, and we can't, you know, use a train. I'm happy to drive, but I can't park down that road because I will get a 60 quid fine. So how about that? And I guarantee no one has asked the government that question. I'd love someone to.
It has to be the question of you live in Newham, don't you? So Newham Borough, London Borough of Newham need to be looking at that, because the reason is that I work for London Borough of Islington. I can tell you now, categorically, the government have given councils provisions to look after people who, because it's COVID-19. They're giving out grants for people with businesses, and they're also looking for people, council tax payers, especially those with situations. So every council and every department has that sort of provisions that have come from central government. So you need to look into that with LBN.
Just quickly, I've got breaking news here. Just before that, we've got Chadwick Moffat. Problem is, asymptomatic carry test everyone. Got breaking news here on Sky News. Spurs star Dele Alli held at knife point and struck in face by robbers.
Disgusting. That is disgrace, and I hope that they're caught and the keys thrown away.
What's he doing now, though? What's he doing
That's
now?
a human being.
I don't know.
That's a human being. That's a human being.
Spurs star Dele Alli was held at knife point by robbers in the early hours of Wednesday morning. The Spurs midfielder, 24, was also struck in the face during the ordeal. There were 5 people in the house at the time. Ali and his brother, their 2 partners and a friend, the Daily Mail reported. 2 males gained entry to the property in Barnet and stole items of jewellery, including watches, before fleeing the Met Police. Ali and the other victims were apparently downstairs at the time and shaken by what had happened. Footage from the Stars CCTV cameras have been passed to police, the newspaper said. A statement from the Met Police said police were called at approximately 35 minutes past 12 on Wednesday the 13th of May to report of a robbery at a residential address in Barnet. 2 males gained entry to the property and stole items of jewellery, including watches, before fleeing. 2 male occupants at the property suffered minor facial injuries after being assaulted. They did not require hospital treatment. No arrests have been made.
It just shows you one thing about football. It just shows you one thing, right? Is that is there any wonder why they don't interact with members of the public and live away as far as they can? I mean, he's probably in Arkley, which is a very posh part of Barnet, you know, Arkley, Hadley Wood, and that still happened. It just shows you one thing, right? Is that a thief is a thief. If he's determined to steal from you, then he'll do everything in order to commit the thief. He will follow you, know your route, know where you live, and that's what they do. They're opportunist thieves are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got no concept of how hard you've worked for all your things. As far as I'm concerned, they've got a right.
Can I just
and that's why
echo what Ali said? He said, I don't rate Ali or Dwight, to be honest, but that is an absolute disgrace, and they should be reprimanded for what they've done.
Right, that's if they get caught.
Well, that's if they get caught. Right, let's go on to something that's more cheerful, bit more happy. Let's lighten up the mood. Let's go on to what we think, us 4 here, and using the chat room. Let us know who you think, what our Arsenal lineup would be next season, with a few additions, realistically. Not going out and getting Mbappe and Ronaldo. Realistically. So we've all been doing our own work all day. We've been looking at the non-league players because that's who Arsenal are going to go out. No, but right, let's get. Who should we do first? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Let's get Kenny.
Kenny's
Kenny,
first.
Kenny.
I'm gonna get told off.
All right, here's Kenny's. Kenny, you have got Leno in goal, Tierney left back, David Luiz and Saliba in the centre defence with Max Aaron right back. You've still got Xhaka. What on earth are you doing, my son?
Kenny, come on.
I know.
Oh dear. You've got Ndidi and Jack Grealish. Apart from them two are fantastic, mate. But my God, did you let yourself down there?
I
And then
know.
You've got Saka, Pepe, and Aubameyang.
Right. Sorry, you ready?
Hold up.
Come on, my blood clot, young.
Before you give your reasons, let's go top to bottom. We leave you last, and then you can give us your reasons why you picked them. Cool. What do you think about that team?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same as I would, but I like Luiz at the back. He's my choice because I think with Saliba coming in, needs a bit of experience with him. I think, and he'll ease him through the Premier League, and I think it'll be a good experience having next to him. I don't think getting another one that's not a young player like that, getting another one that's not experienced in the Premier League would be a bit of a bit of a risk. So I think that's a good partnership there. Tierney, yeah, I agree with that. And what's the right back he's got?
I've gone for Max Aarons of Norwich City.
Max Aarons, right, yeah. It's difficult to say because he's playing for a team that's bottom of the league, so it's difficult to say whether but you're still impressed with him, are you? I mean,
I'm very much impressed with a lot of the players at Norwich. I do think that what we should be doing is that they're going to get relegated, so why not be like one of those? Let's just asset strip them. Come on, at the end of the day, the Premiership's a place to be. What better place than Arsenal? So why not?
The only thing with your team, Kenny, and this is what you've got. What I haven't had to, because I love Ndidi. Don't get me wrong, I love Ndidi, and Ndidi. You've got a midfielder. You've got Ndidi, and you're asking Grealish. And where's the money going to come from here? Because you've still got Aubameyang up front.
Well, you know something. What Tel forgot to tell you is that I put when I thought Aubameyang. Because remember, Tel didn't tell you that I put Aubameyang stroke Balogun. He didn't tell you that.
No. I left that one back.
Small print, Kenny. The small print.
He left out a small print. But yeah, I think the situation is that you never know what's going to happen in football. But I hope that if Aubameyang's the last year of his contract, as much as he's important for the football club, as much as he's a great player, business is business. We can't set a precedent or continue the precedent of players running down their contracts in the hope that they sign a new contract when we haven't got Champions League football for them to offer them. So we're basically like putting all our eggs in the basket, getting the Champions League. We don't get there, and then he leaves on a free. We get no money for him. At the end of the day, sorry to say, these players are good servants, but at the end of the day, they're like a cow in the market.
See, I like
your back sell.
I like your front three there because what I'm looking at the front three there. But are you saying that you're playing Saka but alternating him with Martinelli during the season?
The thing about the situation is that I want genuine pace. Like I said, alongside the striker, and like I said, Pepe is a player that I want to see more of in his second season. Saka needs to play further forward. He isn't a left back. He's doing a good job, but I think that when he does play left back, other players have to cover him when he comes out of position. You won't have that situation with Tierney. But I like the thought of Saka and Tierney being in partnership. Yeah. It reminds me a bit of Perez and Assan's side in the early days. Although we don't know that what happened. The biggest challenge is to keep Tierney fit and to make sure Saka doesn't get an injury. But Saka further forward now is going to be a very good player now he's got Premiership experience.
Yeah. Just want to say, got a super chat here from Alexander. Folks, has England become so unsafe? Sounds like America. It does a little bit. And excuse me, has put no Martinelli, Ken. Can I just quickly say that, sorry, that if I'm missing any comments whatsoever, it's just that when we get super chats, I have to read them out, and I don't want to stop someone from talking. So I'm sorry if I do miss any of your comments with your teams. Just for that, looking at that team, Kenny, for me, looks really good. And then you go and fuck it up, don't you? You go and fuck it up.
Oh, I'm so great. I'm running out of battery, but one thing I will say is that in terms of Granit Xhaka, for the time being, and I'll say for the time being, he is what he is. He's not going to be one of those sort of players that are going to play this sort of beautiful, like running the midfield like Liam Brady with that one on the left foot. He's a steady Eddie that we need to hold things together and hold the glue that holds the team together. And I think in terms of his performances, we should stop trying to expect the unexpected and just take any positives that he gives us. I know you're going to say, well, what positives he gives us? He's not exactly like as a bit of a goal threat. He's not that quick, and like so he's a liability in a tackle. But but what he does do, he is a good passer.
Come on, Sammy.
Sammy, behave yourself.
my mate, Sammy. Come on.
No, Sammy, I think what's happened is that Granit Xhaka's performances have been consistent of late, and they haven't been that bad. So I do think we need him for the time being, but not long term.
That bad. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm just going to keep it quick and short, Kenny. That's a great team, but Xhaka and Louise for me, mate, got to get rid of. Diesel.
Louise, we need experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's squad player.
Huh?
Squad player.
Yeah, but where are you going to get the experience next to Saliba at the back? You need experience there.
All right, well, we'll come to mine in a minute, Paul. Calm down, son. Calm down.
hey, guys! I'm so sorry, right? But my battery's running down, so I might have to love you guys and leave you.
Well, can't you charge it up?
He hasn't got no more money.
No, I'm on the phone. I'm doing it from a phone because it's actually better than using my laptop. Yeah, because we've gone through so much, and I probably talked too much about situations that really weren't part of the show. So I apologise.
No, don't be silly, man. No, we love it.
No, Ken, if you do actually go off or whatever,
it was a bit of a party political broadcast half the
Ken, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on because we really do appreciate it. And you know, at the end of the day, it's all just banter, mate. You know that, don't you?
We love you, Ken. You know that.
Not at all. It's been a fantastic show. It's one of those things like I do understand everyone's opinion about this whole situation. It's not an opinion; it's concerns because I think opinions are like to trivialise the situation. We are all shitting our pants. I'm scared about the situation, about going practice transport, and what's happened is that the pandemic is indiscriminate. But the fact of the matter is that the wheel has to turn.
Yeah.
And that will is people's livelihoods and the economy. And I think what it is that we don't talk about that enough, because I think what's happened is that we're not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
Even though it's something that we should, because we do know people who are being furloughed. We do know people who are shitting their pants about what's coming next, whether they're going to have bills to pay, whether they can pay their mortgage. But we're not allowed to empathise with those people because of the situation that it's about life and death. But we should be able to talk about those people and alleviate their concerns, because the stakeholders are members of the public who watch your channel, may be one of those people who do have those concerns.
Yeah. Alexander, I just want to... Are you going now, or are you going to try and hold on?
I'll try and hold on, but yeah.
All right, Alexander, put Terry as a moderator. I think you are brilliant, mate. I don't know what to take of that, Alexander. Am I a moderator or am I a presenter or what? I don't know. Do you want me on the comments? You want me out of here or what? No, I'm only joking, mate. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. Right, let's do the blind Gooner quickly. We've got, hey guys, nobody deserves to get robbed, although he shouldn't have had a friend in his house in the first place. Yeah.
Well, he's a footballer, Daniel. He can, they can do what they want. They're exempt, aren't they? You know?
Get on to Claude's one. Let's go for Claude next. Claude's team is this. We have got Leno in goal, Tierney left back.
Not so much in that formation, by the way. But anyway, it can be alternated. The formation can be alternated.
You can't turn the wheel back now, mate. You've got 4-4-2, mate.
I gave Terry the names and he put it up like that.
Pass the buck.
They sound like politicians now, don't they, Diesel?
Do you know what I mean?
We've got Tierney left back, David Luiz and Sadabura in defence, and Cedric right back. We got Saka left wing, Ceballos and Partey in the middle with Pepe on the right, and Martinelli and Aubameyang up front. Kenny, give your thoughts on that quickly before we get Claude.
I think what's happening is a very, very strong and compact side, and what it will do is that it'll give. To be honest, I understand why Claude's doing it, because I think Aubameyang plays better his best football in a partnership, because if you can't play Aubameyang in a two, then you've got to play him in the front three on the left hand side, because I think for the team, it suits the team better if Aubameyang plays on the left hand side, and he still scores the goals anyway, so he's not simply missing out. But in terms of the balance, I can see why he plays out wide left.
Okay, Diesel.
Yeah, listen, I can't agree with that. Only reason being, I get what you're saying. Even when he's
hey, guys, I've got to go in because it's good. So I'll see you guys next.
Love you, Ken. Love you, mate.
Thank you very much, mate.
Love you, loads.
Can you see Boris?
Thanks for having me on.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you very much.
Stay safe.
Next time.
What's that? Don't worry. We'll speak soon. I'll speak to you later.
All right, mate.
Anyway, I'll let you show you. Can you see me up? Can you see me arms?
Go on, Kenny. Go on, son.
I'll see you later.
See you later, mate.
Yeah, listen, right? All this about, you know.
Right. Can you take that the sign off?
Oh, which one? Oh,
yeah.
See, Claude wants to see my pretty face, doesn't he? Yeah, by the way, I've not put it in yet because I'm on the stream. We know I always put Claude, give me a wave. I know it winds him up. I love it. But no, bless him. No, I was going to say, right, what Kenny just said there about Aubameyang being on the left wing, he scores goals anyway, so we're not missing out. In my opinion, we are missing out, right? So if he's getting 20, 25 goals on the left, I dread to think what he would get playing up front, because it'll either be the same, or in my opinion, it'll be more, right? It'd be more, because when he's on the left wing, in my opinion, he doesn't affect games enough, right? Yeah. He doesn't have an impact on the game. Aubameyang has had many games where he's had a poor game, right? You don't see him, but because he's clinical at his chance, he gets one chance, bang, it's in the net, right? That doesn't mean he's had a good game. It just means he was in the right place at the right time and he got a goal. Put him up front where he can, impact the play. He'll get loads of goals. And I've always said it. Put him in a Man City or a Liverpool team, he would clean up. Fact, right? So that's that done. Martin, it's quite similar to mine. I don't agree with Cedric. Squad play, yes, not in the 11. Other than and obviously David Luiz. I've said we need to keep David Luiz for a year, but I not as a starting, obviously to fill in, and obviously we've got loads of games, but not as my number one centre back.
Yeah,
but you'll see that in my team anyway. So
for me, it's not a bad team, to be honest. The only ones again for me would be David Luiz and Cedric is the only two. I mean, Ceballos, I wouldn't have him in my first team, but I'd love to have him in my squad players at the minute. You'll see by my squad in a minute. But yeah, apart from that, I think it's not a bad squad, Claude. Now you can have the floor and let us know why you picked this team.
I just think it's compact. It gives you both options defensively and going forward. And I think that you can change it as well. You can change it around during the game as well. You can go 4-2-3-1. You can change it during the game. You can tactically change that through the game as well.
Yeah.
So Martinelli up front, even with Aubameyang. But this is the reason I picked these players as well is because we ain't going to have much money to spend. This is my option. I'd love to have Upper Meccano and all that, but you ain't going to have all that money, right? Yeah. So I think it's a few good young players coming in. You could even push Pepe into the just behind the two. It's this is my team. Cedric Suarez, a very experienced Portuguese international.
Can I just quickly say, Claude, hello, Sophie, the air dry treatment. Hope you will. She put even.
My girl. Hope you're well, Soph.
I don't see her. She's not doing her football anymore, is she? She doesn't do her football anymore.
Her computer or TV broke, so it's she got to get it fixed. Right.
She's not doing no.
I offered to give her a game and she got scared. I'm joking, Soph. I'm joking. I'm missing about.
Right.
No, she's good.
Me or you next? Who are we going for?
Yeah, do yours if you want, mate. I'll go last.
Let's go mine then. Right. Here is my team. I've got Leno in goal. I've got Tierney left back, Upper Meccano and Saliba in central defence, Maitland-Niles right back. I've got Torreira and Partey in the middle with Maddison, and then I've got Martinelli, Aubameyang and Pepe. Claude, do you want to start?
Yeah, I like the front three options. Yeah, I like that option there with Ceballos. Yeah. So what you're saying is Ceballos in the Ozil role there?
No, that's Maddison.
No, man, sorry. So you've got Maddison there. Sorry, Maddison. Maddison doing the Ozil.
I know that's going to be a shock to people because obviously I'm an Ozil fan.
No, I'm a big Maddison fan. But where's the money going to come from? You're talking about 80 million there for Maddison. You're talking about 70 from Upper Meccano, and you're talking about giving the players 12% pay cut. How's he going to salvage that one out? I don't think he'll be able to do it. This is what I'm saying.
I will answer that in a second, but Chadwick Moffat said, Claude, why did you leave at Fabregas?
No, I don't want to talk about it. Don't wind me up.
I said, for me, Partey, I would do a complete swap, straight swap with Lacazette.
Yeah, that's where you will save money on that because
so that would be the money. Madison
Maitland-Niles is out of favour, isn't he? As well, but I don't know whether we'll get back.
So for me, I would still listen. I'm a big Ozil fan. Everyone knows that, but I don't think that Arsenal fans are going to come round to him. Right?
I love this lineup. 150 million there. Where's the money coming from?
You've got Maddison and Upper Meccano, so that ain't going to be 150 million. I'd say you could get Maddison I reckon you could get both of them for 100 million.
Oh, you're joking. I
reckon you can get Upper Meccano and Maddison for 100 million. Right? So if we sell Ozil, because like I said, a lot it's 50-50 with fans. They don't 50% of them don't like him. And for me, I don't think we're going to build a team around him. I don't think he's going to fit in with Arsenal. So me personally, I'd rather him go abroad and do well somewhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Seeing the light now, seeing the light. Come on.
I'm just saying, I've always said that, to be fair, Diesel. If we ain't going to build a team around him and help him out so he can help us out, then we might as well sell him. So I would sell him, probably get...
How much we're going to get for Ozil? Won't get much for Ozil.
And then we get rid of Saka, get about 10 million for him, get rid of he's crap. If anyone pays more than 10, I'm being honest, if anyone pays more than 10 million for him, then they're out of their mind.
Oh, you mean Xhaka? I thought you meant Saka.
Sorry, Xhaka.
Saka.
Sorry, I thought you said Saka for a minute.
No, Saka.
It did.
And then, get rid of Vegetarian, get 10 million for him. Get rid of El Nini, get a couple of million for him. Get rid of a couple of defenders. There you go. That's where the money comes from for me.
No, good. No, I like the side. I like this side. Yeah, very good.
Diesel,
Money wise.
yeah,
No, I like it, Tel. I like it. I was a little bit when I saw Maitland-Niles, but I start to disagree, mate. If I'm honest, listen, if we could get that going into next season, I'd be happy. The happiest. My first thought when I saw your squad, your team there, and I don't want to trigger anyone, but I didn't see Ozil, and that just made me happy, mate. So that was the first thing. But you look at that team and you think, do you know what? I look at that team and I think, yeah, that looks like a team that could compete next year.
Yeah.
Simple as that, right?
Listen, all you can do, boys, tell Arteta I could be assistant manager, and we get this sorted, boys. Do you know what I mean? So
if he ever answers the phone, I might just say that to him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So,
right,
yeah.
let's go. Sorry, what's that?
Diesel's team.
Yeah, we're going to see Diesel's team now.
The best
This
till
is
last.
Diesel's team. We've got Leno in goal. We've got Tierney left back, Upamecano and Sadaba as centre backs, Aarons as right back, Torreira and Partey in the middle, Maddison just in front in the Ozil role, Saka and Pepe with Dembele up front. Right, go on, Claude. I'll let you start with that one.
Questions, lads. Questions. Come on.
Max Aarons, I'm not 100% because but I haven't watched him. I haven't seen a lot of him. But I'm just judging about how his team have defended this year. So, but he may not be totally responsible. He might be not responsible for that. But I like the Saliba. As again with Upamecano, it's a lot of money. Okay.
Of course, that. Steve James is one of my heroes, mate. I would happily take that stand. Thank you.
Then you got Kieran Tierney. I agree with that left on that with that Saka up further up. That's going to be a good partnership, I think. Torreira, I'm not sure whether we'll keep Torreira. Whether he's very unsettled and he wants to go back. So that's with alongside Maddison and Partey. That's solid look. Pepe and Dembele. Dembele from where? Which Dembele is this one?
Musa Dembele. Used to play for Celtic. I think is it Leon now?
Is it Leon? I think it's Leon, isn't it? Yeah.
It's Leon. Smashing it. Wherever he's gone, he smashed it. Right?
Yeah, that's and you think because you think about and you get the money from Aubameyang to actually with Aubameyang's money you could fund this team, couldn't you? Really, it's not a bad side.
I'll let you two go.
Hold up here a minute, Claude, my son. I only had 3 different players that I bought. He's got 5, and you're not points. You haven't
loves me.
Has he got
I remind Claude of Sid James. I remind him of Sid James. That's why he loves me.
Terry, the big difference is he's selling Aubameyang and getting Ozil off the wages. So there's a lot of money saved there.
No.
Listen, proper management, mate. Proper management.
Where have you brought 50 million in?
What?
You're bringing for over 50 million pound in for Aubameyang. You're not bringing that in. That's why I'm not arguing about his changes.
Come on, Claude.
Listen, we can't sell Aubameyang, no matter what you say. We can't sell him.
Come on, Tel.
You can't sell him. Honestly, listen, your team, Diesel. Let me go through it. Dembele, fantastic player. But can he come in straight away, hit the ground running, and get the goals that we need to keep us up the table? Because let's be honest, I know what you've said yourself before, and a lot of other people say, Aubameyang's got the goals already this season, and we're only 9th. Take them goals away, and if nobody else scores, then where are we anyway? We're nowhere.
That is a problem with your team, Diesel. Is where's the goals coming? Because they're all.
You are joking.
No. You've got Maddison. He'll come in.
Yeah, Maddison's a great player. He will definitely get.
Pepe will contribute. I think.
Part A is a given anyway. Do you know what I mean? If we get rid of Lacazette, I think we should do a straight swap there. So I agree with you there, mate. Tierney definitely, Upamecano definitely, because I've had him. You've got the same defence as me, apart from Aaron's, really. But yeah, no. I think that's a great team and all. If we went in to the start of the season next season with that team, I'd be an happy man too, mate.
See, right. So I've heard both your points right now. My whole thinking with this, yeah, right, and I'm seeing a lot of the comments in the chat as well. Much appreciated, guys. Like I said, put a like on this, please. I'm going to keep banging on about it until you do, so you might as well do it.
Diesel.
Sorry?
What I got to do?
Smash the like button.
That's the one. Go on.
Smash the like. 67 at the moment. Right. I said the other day, right, about hard-working players, yeah? I'm not really interested in these big fancy names anymore, right? Torreira, as much as I'm not a lover of Torreira, if we do get Partey, we're not going to get another midfielder, in my opinion. I don't think we are, right? So Torreira is, in my opinion, is the best of what we've got now, yeah? Right. Big up, Flo. Hope you're well, man.
Big up, Flo. Where you been, son? Where you been?
Yeah, where have you been?
Tell you where he hasn't been. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so, yeah. Torreira and Partey, right, beside each other. Two hard-working players, right? Hard-working, which allows the forwards, right, a bit more freedom, obviously, to go and do their thing, yeah? Partey, right, I've watched him play. He does the job of two men anyway, right? Very industrious. Torreira, as you said, Tel, that little pit bull, you know, biting at your ankles. You just will not leave you alone, right?
Yeah.
Max Aarons, for me, is an upgrade on Bellerin. Bellerin, I would sell, right? And to be honest, he's on a long contract. So as much as we all think he's rubbish, you would still get some decent dough on him, right? In my opinion, you would.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tierney's coming back from injury. Upamecano, I don't care. Right. All this, we know we're skint. We ain't got money. Trust me, this club has got money. Trust me. What Arsenal do, the tactic that they do, they make out they have no money or they have very little money. And, you know, it's going to be deals in that, right? Because purely, and it's clever, because they don't want to pay a premium, right? Every year they come out and say this, and yet we spunk a lot of money, right? You know, it's because we don't want to become a Man United, right? Any other club or Harry Maguire, they would not have paid 80 million. Right? 80 million is because of Man United. They always pay 10 to 15 million above what the price is because they pay a premium. Same with Man City and Newcastle very shortly with their owners. We don't do that, right? And that's one thing I will say about Arsenal. They come across as paupers, but really they're not, right? That's my opinion anyway. Maddison, I would take all day long. I don't rate Jack Grealish. Don't rate him. In that midfield at Aston Villa, the only player I do rate is John McGinn. I think he's a better player. But again, that's just my opinion. Maddison, for me, has got it all. Got it all, right? And all this about he wouldn't leave Leicester for us. Trust me, I honestly, Arsenal, in my opinion, Tel, they still have that pull. Yes, we're not a great team at the moment, but you know, our location, the heritage of the club, the history of the club, what we need to tell are shrewd businessmen at the club to sell that to a player, right? Yeah. And Maddison is a class player. He's not world class, but Arsenal is a bigger stage than Leicester. That's just a fact. And I like Leicester. I do like Leicester as a club. I think they're a classy, well-run club. But facts are facts, right? We are a bigger club. Use that. Use it, right? Because we don't. Don't forget who we are. Saka, I've put in there because after the season he's had, you can't not have him in your team, right? So obviously I put him in there, and I think he's only going to get better. Pepe, for me, is going to have the season of his life. I honestly think next season we're going to see the best of him. And Dembele, because I've put there, I rate this bloke. Everywhere he's been, he bangs in the goals. He's quick. He's clinical. And I think on a bigger club, he'll do the business. I know what you're saying. Will he come in straight away and get the goals? We could get the top strikers. We could get, what's his name, Lewandowski in. Again, it's going to be the same question. Can he hit the ground running? You just don't know, right? Don't know. But what this guy's got, he's got everything to him: pace, power, and he's, you know, clinical. Yeah. Aubameyang for me is going. He's not signing a contract, and this is where us three disagree. Lads, what's this thing? A brilliant lady in a light bulb. You can unscrew it. Oh God. Flo, you would know. You would know.
Right, boys. That was a fantastic show tonight. We've been going for an hour and 50 minutes. I can't believe that. It only seems like it's been going a half hour. Great content. Great content. I really enjoyed tonight's show. I just want to thank everyone in the comments for contributing.
Well, Kenny was going on for about an hour. Never mind for an hour of it. Anyway.
Sorry, mate, what was that?
Kenny was going on for about an hour himself. So,
well, he had to get his party broadcast across, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? So, we'll allow him that one. But no,
I'm sure he's a Tory,
I just want to say thanks for Kenny for coming on the show. He was fantastic. Thanks for Diesel and Claude for doing this. This was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I just want to say again, just before we go, everyone, please, can you do us a favor? Just go and sign up to Hotmic on Google Play Store and Apple Play Store and use the code CBS301. That will get you signed up to our channel on that platform. It's all free. Don't have to pay nothing. And if you can like and share as much as possible on both platforms, YouTube and Hotmic, we really would appreciate it. And please do that. There's only not much left else to say apart from everyone, please stay safe. Please stay safe, and we'll see you very soon.
It's
time to go.
There we go. Well done, Paul. See you all soon. See you later. Bye.
Love you all.